Hi, thanks for joining us today. This is Rich, coming to you from my garage because we don't have a gym to go work out right now. So I'm here to talk to mainly our seniors about just getting a nice easy workout in, some things you can do to keep your functional fitness at an optimal level at these times when it's, well, you can't get to the gym and you may not have the equipment you need. So we will maybe do a little improvising and just see what we can find in Rich's garage. So to start out with, you're ready to do your workout. The first thing I strongly recommend is that you walk. Just 5 to 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 if you're feeling up to it. But you get the idea, just walk, get warmed up, get the muscles loose, get the blood flowing. Nothing crazy, you're not running sprints, you're not running a race, just gently walk. You can even walk in place, right? 5 minutes of this, we'll get things kind of loose and ready to go. So once you've walked, you've got a little warmed up, you're ready to do some things. The first thing I recommend is loosening up my shoulders and my hips. Seems to be two problem areas for most folks. So we'll start with our shoulders. And all I'm going to do is simply put my arms out to my side and just make some little baby circles. Nothing crazy. Again, we're not trying to fly away. We're not trying to see how many times we can make our arms go around in a circle in a certain amount of time. We're simply just warming up our shoulders. So we'll do about 20 seconds that way. We'll reverse them. Another 20 to 30 seconds. And you'll feel them start to get nice and warm. And if you don't, just go a little longer. You can do a little bigger circles. Nice and slow. Again, we're not trying to fly away. Maybe some big circles going forward. And I just kind of like to swing my arms back and forth a little bit. Again, just really getting those shoulders warmed up. And secondly, I like to loosen up our hips. To me, the most important body part. So we're going to begin with some hip circles. And you see I have my chair. You can use a wall, a counter, whatever is comfortable for you to just feel like you have good balance and good support. So I'm going to hold on to the chair with my left arm. I'm going to lift my right leg as high as I can in front of me. I'm simply going to make some circles to the outside. So go as far as you comfortably can. If you can make a 90-degree turn, that's perfect. If you can't get the leg up very high or come out very far, just do the best you can. We'll do about 8 to 10 that direction. And once we've done 8 to 10 that direction, we're going to take the same leg and we're going to lift it up to our right, to the outside. So we start here and just circle inside. Drop your foot, rinse and repeat. This is simply loosening up our hip flexors. Hip flexors cause a lot of folks a lot of grief. When they're tight, back's tight, hamstrings tight, everything starts to get a little bit out of alignment if our hip flexors are not loose. So we've done some outside circles. We've done about 8 to 10 inside circles. And then we're going to switch legs. You can either turn around, scoot away. If your balance is good, try and do them on one foot. Challenge yourself a little bit. Otherwise, use your chair. Excuse me. And again, about 8 to 10 of these guys. And we'll switch directions. Pick it up going to the outside. Circle it to the inside. My garage needs a cleaning. I've got you on the narrow angle, so you can't really tell. So we've loosened our hips up, our hip flexors that direction. And one more hip loosening exercise we like to do. And for this, again, we can use a counter or wall. I have my chair. So all I'm going to do, I'll turn this towards you, is lean up against my chair, step back with one foot. Doesn't matter left or right, we're going to do both. So in this case, I've got my left foot back and take my right leg, and I'm just going to swing it back and forth. in front of my left foot. I get some grinding and some popping in my hips. It's fairly common for a lot of us. Don't really worry about it. If it doesn't hurt, it's probably not that big of a deal. So this is an exercise where you really want to let momentum do most of the work. Right? I'm just kind of starting it each direction. We're going to do about 12 to 15 of these guys. And we'll relax that side. We'll do the other side. Same idea. Just swinging back and forth. Really, we're just continuing to loosen up our hip flexors, the hip joints, ready for doing some exercises. You can do this before and after you walk. You can do this several times a day. I find for me personally that it feels pretty wonderful to do this multiple times a day. All right, so we have our shoulders loose. Ready. We have our hips loose. Ready to do some high kicking. Although we're not going to do any high kicking today. All right, we are going to begin by doing some squats. We want to work the entire leg muscles. These really get our quads going, but we're just doing stuff that we have to do every single day of our lives. And first and foremost, we have to be able to get up from a chair. So, I'm going to stand directly in front of my chair. When I sit down, I'm going to push my hips back. I want to focus on trying to keep my knees as close to behind my toes as I possibly can. So it's strong core, pushing your hips back. It's called hinging at the hips. We're going to push our hips back, and then I'm going to drop my gluteus maximus onto the chair. I'm going to get up. I want to do 10 of those, 12 of those. I want to do several of those throughout the day. This is functional fitness at its finest here. We have to be able to get up from whatever we're sitting down on. If you need to use your hands today, that's fine, folks. We want to try and do it without our hands. We want to push through our heels on the way up. Try not to rock out onto the balls of your feet. So I'm going to hold my hands here. Every now and then I will lose my balance and I'll fall back on my butt. We're really focusing on keeping our knees as close to behind our toes as we can. Pushing the hips back on the way down, thrusting through our heels on the way up. When you get to the top, I want you to give your tush a nice big squeeze as well. Then relax it, extend the booty back, pushing up through the heels. And again, there's no set number of these for you to do. Challenge yourself a little bit. Try and do 8, 10, 12. And again, if you need to put your hands on your knees for now, that's fine. But our goal is to be able to do that without the assistance of our hands. Excuse me for 1 second. I'm going to pause it real quick.